what's up? Today I'm going to be giving a film review for Passengers. Now this is a science fiction film directed by Morton Tyldum, and it stars Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence as like the main protagonists of the film. Now you also have Michael Sheen in the film. You also have Lawrence Fishburne, who's in the film too as well. And I guess you could see like a cameo appearance by Andy Garcia, in the film. He doesn't really say anything, but he does make like an appearance in the film, at one point. So this is my review for Passengers. Now this film is about two passengers aboard a spaceship who are sleeping in hibernation. Now mind you, there are 5,000 people on board this, over 5,000 people actually on board this spaceship, known as, I think, the Avalon. And it's actually on course for a planet known as Homestead 2. So they actually are leaving Earth on a journey that takes them, I think, it would take them 120 years to actually get to this other planet. So like Chris Pratt's character, known as Jim Preston, actually it was James, but they do call him Jim throughout the film, where Jennifer Lawrence's character, she calls him Jim. His character, for some reason, well, you see what happens at the beginning of the film. You see, as the Avalon spaceship is cruising into space, it gets into I think like a meteor shower or asteroids, which cause an accident in the ships, I think I guess computers and stuff like that, which causes the malfunction. This causes Chris Pratt to awaken from his hibernation sleep, and he actually awakens 30 years into the journey of the Avalon spaceship heading towards Homestead, 2, which will actually take 120 years. So he actually awakens 30 years in this journey, and there's nobody else awake on the ship. It's just him alone, So at this point, he realized, he realized that he's in danger. What is he's going to do? Because obviously he's not going to be able to survive for that long. He will have to live for almost 100 more years to actually finish the journey. And if he did survive, he'll be real old, So he know right then that he's in danger. So along the way, he gets all into learning about the Avalon ship. He comes across this robot bartender known as I think it's Arthur. Yeah, and he's played by Michael Sheen. He meets him first, So along the way, he's working out on the ship and everything. He's trying to constantly find his way, how to survive on the ship. He can't get to the captain's seats, to try to figure out what to do. He even sends distress signals and so on, but there's no response, and everything. So it is kind of a terrifying moment. So at one point, he meets I don't want to spoil it, he meets the Jennifer Lawrence character too as well, who is played by her name is Aurora Lane. And she's played by Jennifer Lawrence, so he actually meets her, Now, that's a little twist of how they meet, but I don't want to spoil the film, But when they actually meet, they kind of grow close to each other, She realizes that she's in danger too as well, how are we going to get out of the situation, And she's a writer too as well, because along the way she actually she is documenting what's going on with them in the ship too as well, what they're going to do, if they're going to survive, whoever finds this message and so on, So throughout the film, they grow closer and closer, and, they fall in love. And at one point, something happens, a revelation comes forward, the spoiler, I want to spoil it, and then they get into conflict and they be angry. So, the typical kind of thing with these kind of films, But I thought, in the end, though, I thought the chemistry between, Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt, it was kind of cool. It was interesting, At times it felt like Chris Pratt was kind of laid back with his performance, but when Jennifer Lawrence was speaking her lines or delivering her dialogue, I felt like she was just reading it, But she still did pretty good. I thought the acting was good, but it felt like she was just reading as soon as Chris said something, his character Jim said something, she would automatically just throw out her next line, she was just reading her lines. I was just reading it, But I mean, it was still a good performance, And I thought Martin Sheen as the robot bartender Arthur, I thought he was cool and kind of funny. It was cool seeing him, the way he move around and stuff, because he's on these wheels, So I thought that was kind of cool that they had this robot, they can give good advice and so on, Now, I guess the main good thing about the film itself, which made it stand out and real good, was the set design. The look of the film is awesome, and it still reminds me why the science fiction genre is still my all-time favorite genre as far as movies go. I'm a big fan, huge fan of science fiction films. It's my favorite genre, and it does continue to remind me of that, because the look of the Avalon spaceship had this futuristic. You got robots going around the ship that you can clean up and stuff like that. The food, the stuff that dispenses their food for them to eat, Arthur himself, the robot. Even scenes where they're actually floating out into space, I thought scenes like that were cool and awesome too as well, They also have a basketball hologram and stuff where you can play basketball. Even when they're dancing, they can dance for holograms and stuff like that. I thought that was awesome, They have scenes where they're jogging around too as well. So at the set design, you really feel like you're on the ship Avalon. You know, so massive and huge. You really feel like you're there. You know. Plus there's also like an awesome like scene with like Jennifer Lawrence where her character's in danger, where she's like swimming in this pool and she gets caught up in like it's like a scene where the gravity like fails or something like that. The water that she's in, it turns to like this huge like ball of like water, and I thought that was like awesome sequence. You know. Plus, another thing, the concept for the film I thought was pretty cool too. The idea that these people are stranded on a spaceship that's on a journey that would take them 120 years to get to this other planet. You know, so there's no way they would survive that. You know, so I thought that was an interesting concept. So to me, those are the plus points of this film, Passengers. You know, now another thing, I felt like it was like too long. It kind of dragged at certain points. There was like pacing issues with it as well. And then with Lawrence Fishburne, when this character does shows up, it seemed like it was kind of pointless for him to be in this film, you know. But it was still kind of good. I thought he did good with his performance, you know. And you also have like a cameo appearance by Andy Garcia, and he's another one kind of like Lawrence Fishburne that I felt kind of like wasted. It's like really was no point for him to be there, you know. But yeah, in the end, my review for Passengers, I thought this was a pretty good film. Like the look of it, like the sci-fi, like the high tech, the set designs, all that's what really makes it stands out, you know. I would highly recommend this for like science fiction fans. You know, if you're fans of like the science fiction genre or space type films, you know, I would highly recommend this. So this is my review for Passengers, and I'm giving this a B minus. I kind of want to give it a B, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B minus because there's like certain parts where they kind of like dragged and so on, you know. So yeah, this is my review for Passengers, which I am giving a B minus. All right.